Chasing stuff. An instinct we've had since the dawn of time. No wonder then that the instinct to chase stuff has followed us into total war. This tactic is all about pursuing your enemies to the end of the earth until they are no more. A simple concept, but potentially a very powerful one. So, as I'm sure you're aware, once we waver a unit, we will eventually break it, and it will start to flee and run away, or rout. Now very often you may have accidentally left your unit pursuing the broken unit, allowing it to damage it as it goes. This can be a very powerful intentional tactic though. Example, I've got some demigryphs coming up on me, a very powerful unit I'd like to get rid of early, so I'm going to send in the trolls. I'm also going to use a magic debuff to try and help get them gone quickly, as well as send the warhounds in just for that little bit of extra damage. The idea here is to try and break this unit quickly. And you can see we're doing pretty good damage here. We've got a leadership debuff as well, it's starting to waver, and it's broken. So now we're hit with a choice. We could either assume that we've done enough damage to the demigryphs and that they're done for, and then leave them alone. Or we could keep pursuing them to make sure they get off the battlefield, because that is an expensive strong unit that will be gone. So I'm going to opt to send my trolls after these nearby swordsmen, and I'm going to allow my warhounds to keep chasing those demigryphs, to keep their leadership down, keep the damage coming, and to chase them off the battlefield. Now that unit has no risk of coming back and doing any more damage, which it would do because demigryphs are that damn strong. So it's a damn good idea to try and chase powerful important units off the battlefield. An Amber Wizard here. He's broken, going to send my trolls elsewhere. If I just leave him, he is going to come back and potentially cause more magic damage. So I'm going to send the warhounds in again. They're going to keep on him, chase him off, and stop him from coming back. It's all about keeping the pressure on these routed units so their leadership doesn't go back up and they rally. Again, over here, I've got some trolls going after crossbowmen, but then I noticed these handgunners that are routing that still have a fair amount of men left in them. So I'm going to send my trolls after them to make sure they don't come back, getting rid of the powerful, dangerous units. So it's simply keeping an eye out for those opportunities to get rid of anything that's expensive and strong for the enemy army. Kroxigors here running away, they've still got a fair bit of health and some numbers to them. If I let them go, they will come back and cause more damage. But even my skirmish cav here, a unit that would normally get destroyed by Kroxigors, can put up enough damage and chase these Kroxigors off in melee, preventing their return. Over on the other side, I've got a feral Carnosaur to deal with. I sent some warhounds after it, but they couldn't quite chase it off, and it's rallied and has now broken them. So the tables have turned a little bit here. It managed to get enough leadership back so it could rally and go into melee. Now you're not always going to get this. 9 times out of 10 you will be able to chase most things off and they won't be able to rally, but sometimes if something has good leadership, it will bring itself back to the fight and take on whoever's chasing it. And as you might expect, this is an incredibly powerful tactic if you manage to break an enemy lord, especially if it happens early. Use anything you can that's fast enough that can keep up with it to chase it off. This will keep the pressure up, keep the leadership down, prevent it from coming back, give you a chance to potentially kill them or chase them off the map. And as I'm sure you're all aware, whether it's early in the game or late in the game, killing or routing the enemy general is the biggest play you can make in any battle. But be warned with this tactic, you got to make sure it's worthwhile to do the chasing. Chasing off a lord is pretty much always worthwhile, so you're always going to want to do that, no matter how far it is to the edge of the map. Sometimes it might be a big old trek or a short stroll. With a lord, either way, it's fine, just keep doing it. But with some units, it may not be a good idea to keep your powerful units out of the fight that long. For example, using Kolek Suneater, the mountain god, to chase off peasant mob is most definitely not worth it. Using cheap warhounds though to chase off Kolek is a good idea because the warhounds aren't going to be a huge game changer somewhere else on the battlefield, so they can take the time out to do this job. So be sure to think about whether it's worthwhile to have that powerful unit chasing off another unit if it's away from the rest of the battle where it could be more use. Over here I've got this Dragon Ogre Shaggoth chasing off some Wild Riders, a very powerful dangerous unit that will keep coming back and keep causing problems if you let them. So in this case I felt it necessary for this Shaggoth to get rid of the Wild Riders so that they're not a problem later on, and the Shaggoth wasn't desperately needed anywhere else, so he was fine to take the time out to come over here and deal with this. Think about how long your powerful units are going to be away from the main fight and whether it's worthwhile. Because any unit with a bit of speed can pull this off and can chase things down, but it's going to be better off with cheaper lighter troops like Warhounds or Missile Cav or Flying units, mostly because they're the fastest kind of units that can keep up with pretty much anything. But really any kind of unit can do the role, but of course Warhounds and things are going to be better suited. You could even bring, say, a unit of Warhounds for this role specifically. Just take it around the back of the enemy army, get your main army into it, wait for something expensive and powerful to break and rout, and then get them chasing it. They can just sit back there waiting to do that job. It's a very powerful tactic. And you have to ask yourself whether it's worthwhile chasing certain units. Do you want to chase a unit of 300 gold spearmen, or do you want to wait for some big unit like some expensive cavalry or a strong monster and try to chase them off instead? So choose your targets wisely. Of course, it's going to be a judgment call in any situation, in any battle. There's so many different variables you've got to think about. Use your best judgment to decide who you want to chase off. But remember, Kolek chasing peasant mob is a no-go. Don't waste the time. Peasant mob aren't going to do anything even if they do come back. So there you go. Chasing stuff off. Doesn't sound like something you need to be told about, but you'll be surprised how powerful of a tactic this can be if you do it with intention. Keep an eye out for those opportunities because they could be huge game-changing moments, especially if it's a lord. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the future.